What's up everyone? Mr. Totem back again. Coming to bring you another video on some of my studio work and some of the new ideas and implementations I've been doing. This particular canvas I've been working on has a little bit of a twist that I haven't done on any particular of my letter work up until this point. I've had this idea for a while now, where I wanted to basically make it an amalgamation of around 3 different styles mixed into one. Styles that I've been currently doing where these particular additions and changes make a completely different type of look, and this is what I mean. So this particular style is an amalgamation of my mechanical battle serif style that I've been very well known for since the early thousands, late 90s, where my wing letters, where it spreads out like this kind of like V shape that I used to do so often back in the day, and some of my current body letter styles where I make my letters out of people, out of characters. Where my exact letter skeleton is actually characters themselves making the letter. So the trick of it all, and of course a third one being my actual character way of painting characters themselves, that is. So the style here is essentially my mechanical battle serif meets my body style meets my female characters that I paint, right? Girls. And ladies, if you will, rather, because I'm into the ladies. So the letters themselves, the skeleton is actually based on the females, okay? The females' full extension of their body makes the letter, just like my body style, right? So where I got the idea from, so back in the day, I have all my Japanese calisthenic books of when I used to go to Japan and I would visit my family, and we would just, you know, spend a lot of time back home. And what I always did was I brought a sketchbook with me, and the sketchbook I would do multiple different styles. One page I did, this was 2007, one page I did my name out of strippers, out of a bunch of women and poles. And that particular drawing, pretty much, I never got a chance to paint it because it's a pretty lewd style for most people. I can't really just paint it everywhere. I feel a sense of responsibility with my work. I don't particularly like to offend people with that just out in regular public. So I've always waited on a proper place that I could paint it, right? But in all that time, I've had so many other designs and styles that I wanted to do, so it fell to the wayside for a long time. So I always felt like back in my mind that I could do something with that particular style, but something to take it farther than just, oh, you just made your letters out of some strippers, and that's, you know, that's some ATL stuff. So we like that, but I could twist it a little bit more with a little bit more class. So what did I do? I said, all right, I could take the letter, and I could take the lady and armor her, right? So if I made this contrast, because the ladies, you know, the mechanical battle serif style is so hard and armored and tough and, like, you know, looks really like built for war. But then you got the softness of a woman's skin and body. I thought, wow, what a contrast would it be if I could mate the two, right? Armor her somehow. And I thought it would look pretty awesome where the letter was in part this beautiful woman and in part this mech. The other thing is I didn't want to make the woman a cyborg. I didn't want her to be like more human, more mechanical than human. I wanted her to be more like a woman wearing armor. The other thing is, some of the difficulty was, it has to kind of make sense the way it looks as she wears it. And, it can't be too clunky, but yet it can't be too, form-fitting and svelte, because then, how can you flare out a style? If you're gonna do the letter T and you can't flare out the ends or the bottom, like, it's really just kind of, rudimentary and basic. So I said to myself, I was like, okay, well, what can I do to make these things flare out in a sense, and give a lot of that contrast? So I had to go with a voluptuous woman, a voluptuous body, thick thighs, well-endowed breasts, things of that nature. And so what that did was it offset the large pauldrons and the large heavy armament, where, the payload of missiles or whatever would be in her shoulders or so on and so forth, right? But then wherein lies a problem, right? So when you make a letter, right, let's just say the letter E, you can't swell or augment the shape of a woman's body without it looking very weird, very, very weird. So if I made a woman with a huge right leg, yeah, it'll work for a letter, but it won't work for how she looks. It will look awful, right? So I couldn't do that. I had to make the metal do that. So I could still start the shape going out from her thigh because she has some thick thighs, but then when it came to her actual leg, her calf has to be slender. It can't be this bulbous like elephant foot coming off the bottom of her leg. So the metal, the armor had to do that. So I had a lot of, I'll be honest with y'all, to draw this, so I drew it, and this drawing right here, to figure it out, it took me roughly a month, and that's uncharacteristic for me, okay? Because I had to do a lot of thinking to where it still looks like a graffiti piece. It still looks like my three-dimensional battle armor style, my tactical dreadnought, like the letter mech look, and still beautiful women in it. It was a rough one, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, it was a rough one. But I was able to find my way through, and as I show you right now, the actual sketch, the sketch itself pretty much illustrates that I did it right. So during this process, I was like, man, the sketch looks really good, but to me, nothing's real until it's painted somehow. Whether it's painted on a wall or whether it's painted on a canvas, you gotta paint it, right? Everything's in theory until that happens. And I decided to go ahead and start by doing it with the canvas because I already knew it's gonna look kind of interesting. So here we go. So this is my BattleAngel letter styles. So that's what I call it, my BattleAngel, a little bit of a head nod, tilt to Alita BattleAngel, because it's the mechanical battle seraph meets my angels, my like Charlie's Angels, my little pretty ladies that are armored in my battalion. So check it out. Hopefully you like how this piece came out. All right. Stay tuned for more. Make sure you like and subscribe. You know how it goes. Mr. Totem out.